What's going on, everyone? It's Mike and John back again for a match preview. It's not very often that we have this fantastic individual on the channel for a match preview, but he's here today. How are we, John? How are you feeling?
Good, good. I'm looking forward to the season to be over next week, just so we know where we are and we can stop stressing then either way, can't we? So let's just get these two games out the way and hopefully we come out where we want to come out.
Yeah, let's obviously before we go into the Everton game, I thought it would be good to go into the other games, the other games that really matter to us. I don't necessarily think let Leicester do as much without being disrespectful to Leicester. I think they're probably down. Leeds have got, I'm going to say, a pretty similar game to ourselves, really, away from home against West Ham. Leeds have showed a little bit more fight under Sam Allardyce. What do you think? What do you think the Leeds West Ham game will consist of for them? Do you think they get a point, a win? Do you think they lose? What's your thoughts on Leeds first?
Well, I mean, as you say, looks like Sam Allardyce. Yeah, he's not getting the results and scoring the goals that they need to win games. He's not scoring enough, but they look better defensively. They seem to have a better understanding and a better shape to them since he come in, which we all know that's what Sam Allardyce does. We've seen it at Everton, Michael. I think there's two ways to look at this. West Ham are safe in the league, so they haven't really got anything to play for on that front. But, they're in that Conference League final now. So their players, hopefully, want to put a good performance in against Leeds so they can earn their place in that final. So there's two ways you can look at it. Hopefully, it'll be the latter. Hopefully, they do give Leeds a game and do us a favour. I hope David Moyes does us a favour, to be fair, because I expect Everton to do themselves a favour tomorrow. And I think we win tomorrow against Wolves. Wolves haven't really got anything to play for. They can't go up anymore, really. They can't come down. So Everton need it more. Leeds need it more than West Ham. So it's going to be two very interesting games. As you say, no disrespect to Leicester. I think they play Newcastle on Monday night. I think Leicester are gone. As good as gone, to be fair. Newcastle have got something to play for. They're at home again. So two big games for Everton and Leeds. It's going to be interesting tomorrow what happens. I think we can, if Leeds get beat tomorrow and Everton win, then I'm pretty sure we stay up, to be fair.
Yeah, well, that will be, I think it'll be spot on, actually. I think mathematically, I think that's too much for Leeds. I think it's 4 points then. So if Leeds lose and Everton win, we are confirmed Premier League next season. The other team, obviously, is Forest against Arsenal. Now, all of these games actually are all happening after the Everton game, so they're all going to know what they need to do. Forest have got a difficult game against Arsenal. What's your thoughts on that?
You see, I think Arsenal are going to this game probably knowing the league's gone now. City, we spoke about this on the match reaction, Michael, after we played City, and they're on a different planet. We've seen them against Real Madrid the other night. I think Arsenal probably realised they're not going to win the league now. So what Arsenal turns up, Michael, is it going to be the team where they just want the season to end now? They've had a great season. Or are they going to hope for that miracle? Because they can still win it mathematically. We know that. Are they going to hope for that miracle and City drop points and keep themselves in the Premier League title fight? Difficult game for Arsenal as well, because Forest have looked okay in recent weeks. They are capable of scoring goals. They've got something to fight for. So it's an interesting weekend, Michael, for Leeds, for Leicester, for Everton, and for Forest, with a week to go. And I can't really remember a Premier League season, with 2 games to go being like this, where there's quite a few teams that could still possibly go down.
No, you're right. And yeah, you're absolutely spot on. I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting the fact that these teams play after us. So they're going to know what they need to do to get a result, stay in the league, etc. So I think that'll be interesting. Obviously, moving on to our game then. tough away game, a team that hasn't played too badly away from at home this season. They obviously, they had their problems at the start of the season. They changed their manager. Lopetegui looks like he's done a pretty good job actually in getting his team playing, albeit Jimenez isn't the same player. Obviously, he had an horrific injury. The Wolves side look a bit different. How do Everton beat Wolves, John?
It's been a funny season for Wolves, Michael, because we all know they were struggling, hence why they changed their manager. And we come in and they were getting some good results, some decent results. And then they seemed to have fell away a bit, and then they started playing well again. And now, the last couple of weeks, they have been a bit hot and cold, Wolves. So you don't know what you're going to get with Wolves. They've had an up and down season. They're just about scrape through, not getting themselves in that relegation battle. But up until a few weeks ago, Michael, it was still twitchy bum time for them, because as I said, they've had a hot and cold season, done well when he come in, then they fell away a bit. But I think they've done enough to stay up. Obviously, they brought the manager in at just the right time, because I think if they wouldn't have done, I think they could be in the dogfight as well. I think Everton beat Wolves. Since Dyche has come in, our away record has improved. It was shocking. It's been shocking for seasons, our away record. We all know that. We went away to Brighton. We got a result there. So we got the point against Leicester. So Everton's away form has improved under Dyche. That's why I'm confident going into this game tomorrow, because, again, Wolves are the team where, they haven't really got anything to play for. You'd like to think they put a performance on at home for their fans. Possibly, I'm not sure. It could be their last home game of the season. So, you don't want to go out on a defeat. But I do think with the position Everton are in, we're showing more fight. The players look like they know what they're doing. There's more of a team spirit. We look really, really good on the turnover. Even Manchester City, Michael, when we played them for 36, 37 minutes, we had chances and we were in that game. We probably give
the game. We actually finished the game with higher expected goals than Manchester City.
Yeah, and when you look at Man City, Real Madrid the other night, and I'm not saying Everton are on a par with Real Madrid, no two ways about it, I'm not, but we probably give Manchester City more of a game in the first 37 minutes than what Real Madrid the other night. So we are capable of putting performances in. So I think we can go to Molineux tomorrow, and I do think Everton do what they have to do tomorrow. I think they know the situation they're in now, the position they're in now. And I think they've realised for the last couple of weeks with the performances, because they haven't been poor performances, Michael. They haven't. They have pulled it together. Dyche has come in. He's got team unity. I think, to be fair, I think if he probably would have started making the changes, which he has done the last couple of weeks, bringing Yerry Mina in for Michael Keane, we'd probably be safe now. To be fair, we're probably safe before this game tomorrow. He did realise he had to make a change, and since Yerry Mina's been in, Michael, looks like he hasn't been out the team. It looks like he's been playing for a good few weeks now. He's settled straight back in. He's looking strong. He's winning headers. He's a leader as well. Him and Tarkowski have built up a good understanding at the back. So I am confident going into the game, because all over the pitch we look better defensively. On the turnover, on the break, we're hurting teams. We're creating chances. We created enough chances against City in that first half an hour to probably be ahead. A lot depends tomorrow if Calvert-Lewin's fit. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't know what injuries we've got, what team I can probably pick, because I didn't see his press conference. I think I did see something like Mikalenko could possibly be out. So it looks like we are going to have to mess around with the defence again, but I do think we have enough.
Yeah, I mean, since Sean Dyche has come in, these are facts that people have actually missed, actually. So in terms of home and away record, our home record isn't actually great. We're the third worst in the division at home. And we've gone from, under Sean Dyche, being the second worst away team, only Forest, and actually at the time we were level on Forest. I think it was the fact that goal difference away from home that meant that Forest were lower than us. But to put it in perspective, both teams were at the bottom of the league for away form. Everton are now roughly 13th in form away from home. So what's that shown is certainly in the last 3 to 4 away games. All of a sudden we've got a way of at least at a minimum getting a point. You know, we go into this Wolves game. You are right. We've got things to play for, and Wolves, to be fair, don't. The only thing they've got to play for is prize money from positioning in the Premier League. And being brutally honest, I don't think many footballers care about that. Because it's nothing to do with it. Wolves are on 40 points. They've won 11 games this season. Everton have won 7. The big thing for me with Wolves and Everton is we've actually lost the same amount of games. So the issue's been with Everton is that we've got too many draws. We've drew 11 times this season. And that's what's put us in this position. You know, we've been ahead in games. You know, I can think of loads of games. We were ahead at Brentford away. We was ahead at Leeds away. You know, we've been in the lead so many times. We were in the lead away at Leicester. You know, we've been ahead Southampton. We've been ahead so many times and we've dropped points. And that's what's put Everton in this situation. We go to Wolves with a little bit of confidence. Our last away game, we beat a very fantastic Brighton side, 5-1. A team that, by the way, on the Wednesday night get a 1-0 win against Manchester United. And then on the Sunday, they spank Arsenal, or the week after, they spank Arsenal 3-0. With a 5-1 drubbing at home to Everton. It doesn't make sense. And it'll be, in my opinion, that win that keeps Everton up. I don't know if I'm as confident as you are about winning, but I certainly don't think we lose this game. I certainly think Dyche will set up on the counter, let Wolves have the ball, and just punish them every single time. He'll use the pace. Dwight McNeil's looked absolutely fantastic over the last 6 or 7 games. He's worked his socks off. Me and you have sat next to each other and said things like that. You know, all of a sudden, we've got a player that is prepared to take somebody on, whip a ball in, can defend, and can score a goal. And I think Wolves, I just don't think, without sounding overconfident, because I've done this before, I did it at home to Fulham, I just don't think Wolves are going to be bothered. I just don't think they're going to be bothered.
You find a lot of teams in the position that Wolves are in at this point in the season, where they go into these last couple of games with that, they're going to be thinking about packing their suitcase, you know, and where they're going on holiday. 2 things I want to bring up from what you've just said there, Michael, about the 11 draws. You turn 2 of them games where we drew into wins were safe.
One?
2.
1?
Well, 1. Yeah, 1. You know, and then what you said about Dwight McNeil, for me, Dwight McNeil's probably been the most improved player since Sean Dyche has come in.
Yeah.
You know, he's helping back defensively. He's always available for the ball. He's tackling. You know, he's making space for himself. He's running at the opposition. Dwight McNeil, what we're seeing now, is the player we seen when Everton got him from Burnley, where he was ripping teams new arseholes. You know, he was getting the ball, he was whipping it in. And Everton look a better team when Dominic Calvert-Lewin's played as well. And I also think that's why you're seeing the best of Dwight McNeil since Calvert-Lewin's come back on the team, because he's got a focal point. He's got someone to aim at. You know, he'll run at the fullback, he'll run at the opposition, he will get the ball over. But also, we've seen this season, Mike, he's also capable of cutting in and scoring goals when we haven't had Calvert-Lewin. So he's chipped in with goals, he's chipped in with assists, and, you know, he's working hard for the team. That's all you can ask when we're in this situation. I'm not going to say he stepped up as much as Richarlison did when we had to win last season to stay up. But he's certainly pulled Everton through it the last couple of weeks, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. And Calvert-Lewin coming back's been really key. I mean, me and you have both criticised Lewin for, you know, different things, but he does seem different. You know, I know that Dyche said that he had a tight thigh after the game. I actually don't believe that. I actually don't believe it at all, because the day that he said that he wasn't training, there was a picture of him in his training kit. I just don't believe it. I think
everyone's got theories on that. You know, me and you have agreed on that. And, you know, it could have been at the point where he's took Calvert-Lewin off and he thought, well, you know, we're getting beat by Man City. We're probably not going to get back in this game.
Which
Let's give him a
absolutely
rest.
makes sense, doesn't it? That's what you'd
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
That's actually proactive game management, you know.
Yeah.
I think I read it the other day. It was something about Ledley King and Tottenham. You know, Tottenham would only played Ledley King in the games that they needed to win, and as a result, they would win those games of football. It's almost like Lewin's got to do it. Everton. I'm going to give you my team. I'll go Pickford in goal, Nathan Patterson, Yuri Mina, James Tarkowski, and I do throw Ben Godfrey in at left back because Mason Holgate cannot play there. The obvious three in the middle, James Garner keeps his place. I think he's been fantastic. Ladrissa Garner-Gay, I think he also stays in. Decore stays in, and his energy has been fantastic. Sometimes his passing's a bit off, but his energy has been great. And then the front three are as is as well, which is Iwobi, Dwight McNeil, and Calvert-Lewin. I do want to just mention, though, do you think this is the sort of game with the physicality and the height in midfield? Do you think this is a game that Onana should play? And equally, what's your starting 11?
My starting 11 is exactly the same as yours, apart from, I will say, if Calvert-Lewin is injured and doesn't play, I'll probably put Tamari Gray up front because when we've had to do that this season, it's worked. And I don't know why, when Lewin was out, Sean Dyche didn't stick with that. I don't know why, when he's had to make substitutions, he's insisted on bringing Neil Maupay on when we've got Ellis Sims on the bench, and more so Damari Gray, who's proved when he's been put in that lone role up front on his own when we've asked him to play there, he's done a good job. I don't get, and this, it's not a video to have a pop at the manager because, as I said before, he's realised it wasn't working with Michael Keane, and he did make the change. And you said before, he's made proactive substitutions like he did with Calvert-Lewin. So I'm not going to sit here and have a pop.
Only recently.
Yeah, it has. So he has realised that he is learning that certain things aren't working. But please to God, stop bringing Neil Maupay on as a substitution because he is so poor. I wouldn't even have him in the squad, Michael. I wouldn't. It's pointless. It just takes a place up on the bench when throw one of the kids there because he's so poor. So for me, as I said, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin is injured, Damari Gray goes up there at a push, Ellis Sims, because we've seen what Ellis Sims is capable of. Come on against Chelsea and he scored that goal. He was strong when he come on, and he made the goal himself. It was a great finish. So we have got options there if Calvert-Lewin is out with Damari Gray or Ellis Sims. Please don't use Neil Maupay. Please don't use Maupay. But yeah, I do think it's a game Everton can win. With that team, you're talking about the physicality from our midfield. I think that's where we win the game. I think that the game's won on the physical side of it. Our midfield against Wolves' midfield on the turnover, on the break. So that's where I think the game's won, and that's why I totally agree with your team, apart from what I've just said about the centre-forward position.
Yeah, another player I want to mention, and I've mentioned him all season, and this isn't to start the game, but Stanley Mills, I don't understand why such. And I know the teams, I think I can't remember if he's away. I know one of the teams is away, but Stanley Mills this season has been absolutely fantastic, and I really want. I'd just love to see him on the bench. I'd love to see us start rewarding our younger players. And the reason I say that, John, and I know it's a bit of a random subject to bring up, but we're seeing Isaac Price, very highly rated young individual, is going to what's it called? The team in Belgium.
Abroad. Yeah. Standard liaison.
4-year deal. And you sit there and you just think, do you know what? Reward some of these younger players that have played well. Do you agree?
I do agree, and I was just going to say then, I don't think Sean Dyche is the sort of manager to give youth a chance. And I know the situation we're in, it is a catch-22 situation where he could throw them in and it backfires on them. Then, it knocks the kid down and, it puts them on a write-down if they perform poorly. But surely Stanley Mills, I love him now. Stanley Mills surely has got to be better than Neil Maupay. I just don't get the Neil Maupay thing with Sean Dyche. But if we do end up safe this weekend, then maybe give some of them kids a go the last game of the season against Bournemouth, just to see what they're capable of. Obviously, only if we're safe, because again, you're going to throw kids into a big game like that. Probably not the right thing to do, obviously, but yeah, I totally agree. Give the kids a go when we've got the chance, or put them in and around the team, put them on the bench, put Stanley Mills on the bench instead of Neil Maupay. But obviously, for some strange reason, Sean Dyche to me doesn't seem to want to give the kids a go even on the bench.
Yeah, one last thing I want to mention, John, and this isn't really football. This isn't the team related. Oh, I need a score prediction as well, by the way, before we do this.
2-0.
Up the toughies. I go 1-1 Everton.
1-1 Everton.
Yeah, we go 1-0 up and then Wolves come back.
Yeah. We go 1-0 up and then Wolves score. Full time at Molineux. Everton have won. Brilliant.
Yeah. MSP appear to have overtaken 777 partners in the bid for Everton. Now, the rumours are that this is not an actual takeover, it is an investment. Now, I've got issues with that personally. It's about to go off in here. So I've got issues with that, if I'm being honest. Now, my point is, do 777 partners who want a full takeover, or MSP that want to buy, I think it's approximately 30% of the club, what would you prefer?
See, rumour has it 777 haven't got that much money. Personally, don't know. Haven't seen anything what MSP are worth. I am not bothered which one it is, as long as this board goes. Whoever comes in, obviously Mashiri will still be there if it's only a stake in the club. But whoever comes in, please give them 3 places on the board. So that means Denise goes, Bill goes, and Graham Shot and Denise goes. Sorry, Denise, Bill. Well, 2, because we want them out. If it's only a stake in the club, then obviously Mashiri is going to still be there. If that's the case, get the other 2 out the club in Bill Kenwright and Denise Barrett-Baxendale. Personally, I'd like a full takeover. Fresh start, get rid of the whole board, let these people who are buying the club bring their own men in, run it like a proper business, and get rid of them. Get rid of that lot who aren't welcome at Goodison Park. So, full takeover. But obviously, if it is a stake in the club, then Denise and Bill have to go.
Couldn't agree more, John. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't have put it even any better either, without swearing, and we don't want to do that. John learnt the hard way the weekends by his raw aggression, the passion, the dedication.
He's done well tonight.
He's done well. I can't believe it. Right, I'm going. It's been a pleasure as always, guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and I and John will see you soon.
Cheers, folks.